Alright, we're going to be looking at some of the tools you can work with in CorelDRAW and what you can do with them. Okay, I'm going to be combining the pick tool, the shape tool, and some of the perfect shapes here, including a rectangle, the ellipse, and the polygon. Alright, let me start with the pick tool. The pick tool is a tool that is chosen on default. Once you open CorelDRAW, the pick tool is already chosen on default. So what do you do with it? It is used to pick, to click on things on this interface, to pick objects, to pick other tools, right, to access other functionalities on this interface. Most of the things that you click, that you do on this interface is on with the pick tool, right, except on the page. So if you want to navigate through the pages, through the interface, you use the pick tool, right? So that's one of the things it does. Like, I'm going to pick the rectangle tool right now. So if I hover over the rectangle tool, it says rectangle tool. Okay, so it's giving you a hint that it's the rectangle tool. If you hover over another tool, it will tell you what the tool is. So I'm hovering over another tool saying artistic media tool, alright, which the hotkey is I. Now the rectangle tool has the hotkey of F6. So if I hit F6 on the keyboard right now, it's going to show the rectangle tool, but I'm not going to be using hotkeys. Let's just select with the pick tool, which is one of our case studies. So if I click and drag, I can draw a rectangle, and then I can go back to the pick tool and choose a color for the rectangle. Alright, you can fill the rectangle with this color right now. So that is the rectangle picked field. So I drew a rectangle. What do you do if you want to draw a square? Alright, you click and drag. If you just ordinary click and drag, you will not be restrained to drawing a square. You will be left with a guesswork to know the size, the four sizes, which a square is that the four sizes are equal. So you will be trying to guess the sizes, which you won't be correct. Alright, so what do? You click and hold on Control. Once you hold on Control, it resizes all the size automatically and gives you a square size. So it cannot change as long as you're holding the control size. It'll always be as a square size. So you leave it, that's your square. So you can go back to the pick tool and change the color, fill, give it a fill. Okay, so you have a rectangle and you have a square by holding on your control, clicking and dragging, as you have your square. Alright, what else the pick tool does is it helps you move objects around the page. Like you can move this square around to anywhere you want it to be. Alright, so I'm going to also draw an ellipse. So if I hover over the ellipse, it says Ellipse Tool, and the shortcut key, which is the hotkey, is F7, which I'm not going to click so that it doesn't interrupt something for me. Alright, so if I click on it with the pick tool, I choose it. Now, like we did on the rectangle, it's showing the pick the ellipses tool. The cursor has changed to ellipses. Alright, so I click and drag. So I can draw any type of shape of ellipses that I want, to any style I wanted. Okay, what you did with the rectangles, what you do, hold on to the control key, then drag. So any amount of size you do, it will be a perfect circle. Alright, okay, so this is how to draw your perfect circle. You can go back to the pick tool and give them a fill, a color fill, right? So you have your circle and you have your ellipse. So the polygon is the same. I can choose the polygon and draw at default. At default, it chooses any size that it wants to choose by itself, depending on the area you're covering. Alright, so if you want to draw a perfect polygon, you still do the same thing, control and drag, click and drag. All the sizes will be equal. Alright, let me redraw that. So I fill it. Okay, so you see, once I go to click on anything that is not on the page as the polygon tool is chosen, it changes to the pick tool. Watch it. Alright, so the pick tool does most of the picking and selecting of things. Okay, so let me go back to the pick tool right now. So what else does the pick tool do? Let's choose our rectangle. Here, let me move this a bit. As I chose this rectangle, you can see these handles here. These are called handles. Alright, so these handles, you can use it to manipulate this rectangle, to resize it, to reshape it, and do other bunch of things. All right. So if I click this handle at this vertex, it resizes it equally. All right. Resizes this edge and this edge. It resizes them equally. So let's try it out. See, resize it equally. If I reduce the size, it resizes it equally. If I increase it, resize equally. All right. So what happens if I click this part of the handle, which says midpoint? It squishes it, all right, like shrinking or something, if I can use that word. It shrinks it vertically, all right. I can shrink it vertically or increase it anyhow I like, all right. If I hold this part of the handle, I can shrink it horizontally or increase the size horizontally, all right. So that's how it works. There's some other functionality you can do with this big tool. As this rectangle is selected, I can click again on the rectangle and it gives me more functionalities for this big tool. Okay, so you can see the middle sign that was showing modification sign before. Let me click again. It changed to something else. All right, so what does this modification sign that is here, which is the center point, what does it do? This is where you can pick the object and move it around to any place you want. All right, although you can grab at any point here in this place to move it around, so it doesn't matter right now. So you can drag and move it around to anywhere you want. So if I click and change the functionality of the pick tool, this place becomes, this vertex becomes a rotational tool, okay, a rotational handle, and this place becomes a skew handle, right? So what does a rotational handle do? As the name implies, you can use it to rotate your object, and then when you click, you can use it to rotate it. You can see the rotation here, but because it's a perfect circle, but if I choose this one, you'll see it rotates. Okay, so that's how the rotational handle works. So how does the skew handle work? Let me rotate a little bit. The skew handle, this is what it does. Okay, you can use it to mess around with your object. All right, I'm taking it back to how it was before. So what else can you do? As this is here, you can change the center point, can be moved right now. If you hold on it and try to move this object around, it wouldn't work, all right, unless you hold the body. So if I hold here, I can move the center point. If I move it to this place becomes the center point. So if I rotate now, it's going to be rotating on this point based on this new center point. So let's do it. You see now, it's rotating based on this point. If I change it, let me center my page again. If I change it to this place, it rotates based on this place. So that's how it works. Okay, so I'm going to delete this rectangle and create a new rectangle for another work. Right, this is just some of the basic things that the pick tool do for you. So if you actually change to the shape tool, right, you can manipulate this rectangle. Okay, manipulate it. You see changes the handles to only 2 handles, which you can use to, you can smoothen this edge to be rounded. So as all these places are selected at default, if you hold one of the nodes, all of them does the same thing. So it sharpens it to be a little rounded. Okay, so now one of the lovely things that you can do is these icons here represent how this corner will look like when you reshape it with this shape tool. Right, if you click here, it changes to a razor like. It's called the scalloped corner. All right, so you see how it works. So if I change it a little bit, it looks like a razor like shape. Alright, so that's what the shape tool does when you pick it at default to manipulate an object. So if you choose this one, it gives you a different shape altogether. Alright, gives you a different shape altogether. So I'm going to put it back to the normal way it was. Go back to the pick tool. Now let's choose another one. So if I choose this perfect circle right now, I can change it. Okay, becomes an arc. Can change it to become a pie. Alright, so what I just did, I can do with this icons here. If I change it, it goes back to a perfect circle. If I click here, it becomes a pie. If I click here, it becomes an arc. So a difference between an arc and a pie is that a pie can be filled with a color, while an arc cannot be filled with any color, right? Unless it's an outline. Alright, so take it back to the perfect shape. Alright, so what I did here is what I can do with all these ones. Okay, let me change pick, use the pick tool. So how can I manipulate this one with the pick tool? If I click on this polygon, I can change the size of the polygon, the number of the edges with this functionality here. Okay, so if I increase it, increases the size of the polygon. So if I decrease it here, decreases the size. So I can decrease it only to 3 sides because it's a polygon. It cannot be more than less than a 3 size. Okay, so see, can go anymore. Stop at 3. Okay, so that's how the polygons work. So one other thing you can do, if I choose the shape tool, you can see it brings out more nodes that I can reshape this polygon right now. Okay, I can reshape it. Alright, can do some bunch of crazy things to it. Okay, see what I did. So I take it back. You can hold on any node here and do whatever you want with it, depending on what you want to work. If you have an inspiration on what you want to do, I don't know, this thing looks like a clown something. Okay, so if you drag this polygon, drag this any node here, it starts shaping it like it's a star shape. All right, so if you want it to perfectly shape it like a star shape, you can hold on control and it constrains it. You cannot move. Even if you move your cursor, it's still controlled. Okay, the shape is controlled to be a perfect star. All right, so that's how it works. Okay, one other thing you can do with this what's it called, with this rectangle or the square. Let's use the square for example here. As these 4 corners are showing and you don't want to change the shape of the 4 of it, okay, you just want to change the shape of maybe 2 corners or 1 corner, you can do that. All right, so if I click again, it's showing 1 handle only, so I can resize only this place. Okay, when you have the 4 handles, click once so that it selects only that node. Then you can click and drag so that it resizes, it reshapes only that part of it. Okay, so let me go back here. Alright, another way you can use to select any object rather than clicking is by using the mark key. Okay, so if you click on the body of a page and drag and cover it, selects any object. Alright, so you can select multiple objects by clicking and dragging and swallowing those objects. Okay, alright, this is actually another lesson for itself. So I think these are the basic things we need to learn for this lesson. And in the other lessons we'll be looking at all the functionalities of the tools and all the tools. I hope you liked this video. Try to play around with all these things, especially this polygon. Try to play around with it and know some of the things you can do. So we are progressive. If this video has been helpful, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so you get notifications if we post new videos for you. Alright guys, see you in the next video.